Welcome to Pompey Square here in downtown Nassau. This is the official beginning of the 2019 Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl preparations. Every year we do a press conference and an event to talk about the preparations for the game, but we also have some special announcements today in the wake of what has gone on here in the Bahamas over the last few months. The Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl is the longest running international bowl game now in college football history, and in its 6th year. College football celebrates its 150th anniversary this season, and the Bahamas is honored because the bowl season begins here on Friday, December 20th at 2 o'clock, and the game will be televised once again by ESPN in the United States and a lot of countries around the world. So we're very happy to get that started and let everybody know what's going on. And at this time, I want to introduce those who are here at the table. Pete Durzis, who's ESPN's Senior Vice President for College Sports Programming and Events. Richard Giannini, the Executive Director of the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl. Lee Miller-Tooley of the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl, who helped found this game. The Minister of Tourism and Aviation, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar. Conference USA Commissioner Judy McLeod, and the Mid-American Conference Commissioner, Dr. John Steinbrecher. From the Orange Bowl Committee, the President-elect Jeff Rubin. And from the Bahamas Red Cross, their Director General, Caroline Turnquest. So at this time, I will turn it over to Pete Durzis from ESPN.
Here you go. Here.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you today, and on behalf of ESPN, it's our pleasure to once again come back to this beautiful country and visit with so many key stakeholders. Considering the challenges that the Bahamian people have experienced with the impact of the hurricane, I think it's important for us to go back to the United States media and to the United States, our colleagues, and make sure everybody understands that the Bahamas is open for business. And as we were discussing with the minister, the best way to support the Bahamas is by coming and spending money in the Bahamas to help the relief efforts. So that's going to be a strong message back. It's especially gratifying for Lee and Richard and me to have our conference partners here, and the value that they have placed on participation in this game, the experience that their student athletes have enjoyed coming to this beautiful country and experiencing the warmth of the people and the entire cultural scene in the Bahamas. And they're here with a special presentation today, as is a long-standing client of ESPN's, the Orange Bowl. We've been proud to be a partner with the Orange Bowl for many, many years, and Jeff is here on behalf of the Orange Bowl, and they do phenomenal outreach in South Florida. So the three of them will have a very special announcement. I think from our standpoint, we view the Bahamas Bowl as a tremendous platform for a variety of reasons, and I think this year it'll take on a special meaning to use that platform to remind those in the United States watching to make their plans, come spend their holiday season in the Bahamas, come and plan their vacations, and so that is going to be hopefully a theme throughout. We've got the upcoming battle for Atlantis that Lee runs point and manages so effectively, and then obviously with the Bahamas Bowl on December 20th. So with that, Chris, I'll turn it over. Minister.
Okay, we are honored to have Minister de Aguilar here today. He's been a part of our game last season. He had a chance to see it up close, and we're happy to have him here. And I know he's been very busy over the last few months, and we appreciate him making the time this afternoon to be a part of the event.
Good afternoon, everyone. Senior executives of Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl, representatives from our sponsoring organizations, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. As a destination, we are always delighted to lay claim to bragging rights for the record-making international events that take place in our islands. The Bahamas is proud to play host to the longest-running international bowl game in the history of American college football. This afternoon, I'm very pleased to announce that the 6th edition of the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl will take place within 7 short weeks on Friday, December the 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. I would like to take this occasion to thank our sponsors who have joined hands with the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism and Aviation to bring the excitement of American college football to the islands of the Bahamas. Special thanks to the Bahamas Bowl organizers who do such a tremendous job each year of growing this prestigious sporting meet. The highest appreciation goes to our title sponsor, Elk Grove Village of Chicago, under the banner of Makers Wanted, whose out-of-the-box thinking has allied this non-tourism corporation with the Bahamas, a leading destination. Thanks to ESPN, who, with its live TV coverage, takes the Bahamas Bowl into the homes of millions of Americans in the dead of winter, and thereby garner for the Bahamas the kind of exposure that boosts the name recognition and brand of our destination to stratospheric proportions. Such a big word, I can't say it. And to faithful Atlantis, we say thank you for year after year providing the setting for our visiting athletes and guests to enjoy our destination. To sustain the pre-hurricane 12% tourism growth trajectory, the Bahamas must continue to generate tourism business involving large numbers of guests. By its very nature, sports tourism is an ideal catalyst to grow our tourism business. College football is a favorite sport among Americans. The Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl annually attracts 9,000 plus visitors and has, over the past 5 years, injected some $30 million into our local economy. The great thing about the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl is that it takes place just before the Christmas rush on a Friday afternoon. Let's keep in mind that student athletes competing in the Bahamas Bowl are accustomed to playing before 30,000, 40,000 spectators per game. So we are encouraging everyone in Nassau and Paradise Island, visitors, residents, families with kids, couples and individuals, to come out and fill the National Stadium on game day. In addition to the game, there will be loads of entertainment, fun, and excitement. This is a sporting event for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendar. Game day in Nassau, Bahamas, 7 weeks away, on Friday, December the 20th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. See you there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. Next is from Conference USA, or Commissioner Judy McLeod. CUSA, along with the MAC, have been part of our game since the beginning in 2014. Last year, they had the champion team, FIU, from over in Miami, in a tough game against the MAC's Toledo. But we're happy to have Judy here to be a part of this event, and we'll turn it over to her.
Thanks, Chris. Do we know what the all-time record is, us versus you? We probably should have figured that out before we got here, so someone could give the other person a little flack. What is it?
3-2 CUSA.
3-2 CUSA. I really didn't know when I brought that up. I really didn't know. But really, on behalf of Conference USA, I'm thrilled to be here. Conference USA has enjoyed a special relationship here. We had roles in the creation of the bowl game, roles in the creation of the Battle for Atlantis, and we have had teams in both events every year. We will again this year, and we're really excited. I think the thing that most of our student athletes and our fans bring back is just the incredible hospitality and warmth of the Bahamian people. So we're appreciative of ESPN and our sponsors, the Department of Tourism, unbelievable, but really just the whole community here. It's been special for us. And on the other side of that, you know, we are all very heartbroken with the devastation from Hurricane Dorian. And so today, on behalf of our 14 member institutions, I have the privilege of presenting a check to the Bahamas Red Cross for $25,000. So Caroline, appreciate. And I hope Caroline and others get the recognition that they deserve that have been working so hard on this relief effort. So we're glad to help and happy to be here and look forward to seeing you in 7 weeks. And wait, sooner than that for the basketball tournament. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Judy. And now a frequent visitor to these shores who've been part of this game since 2014 as well. The Mid-American Conference Commissioner, Dr. John Steinbrecher. John.
Thank you and good afternoon. And it is truly a privilege to be back here in Nassau. Over the past, couple months as we watched this devastation of what occurred, and you're left with a feeling of hopelessness and great sadness for our friends. When we came here to the Bahamas and started a game, we talked about we were going to ask a lot of our partners. We need a lot of help. We need the government to assist us. We need the communities to buy in. A lot of vendors to work with us. All sorts of folks here in the Bahamas to help us with this game. And in return, we promised we'd be a good partner back. And I think we've tried to do that in many different ways. And, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King had this quote that's really stuck with me. And he said, quote, "Somewhere along the way, we must learn that there is nothing greater than to do something for others." And so now it's our chance to do something for our friends and our colleagues and our families here in the Bahamas. And like our colleagues at Conference USA, we're very pleased on behalf of the 12 member institutions of the Mid-American Conference to also present a check for $25,000 to the Bahamian Red Cross in hopes that we can, again, at least in one small way, contribute to the rebuilding of this great country. We look forward to being back here in 7 weeks as we continue the story that the Bahamas are open for business and will continue to be open for business. And this is just one more example of us taking action. So thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, John. The bowl system is a family. There are many, many bowl games throughout the United States. Obviously, we're the only international bowl game here in the Bahamas. And representing a member of that family who, because of their proximity to the Bahamas, there are a lot of Bahamians who have friends and family in Miami and the South Florida area, but certainly they draw from here as well. And it's the Orange Bowl Committee President-elect Jeff Rubin. Jeff?
Thank you, Chris. Like you said, when we were a couple of months ago watching from our televisions about what was happening to the northern part of the Bahamas, we watched with great fear and angst because we didn't quite know what would happen, and that storm stood on top of the northern Bahamas and basically destroyed it. So we at Orange Bowl felt much like our partners at the Makers wanted Bahamas Bowl, Conference USA, and the MAC, that we could find some way to contribute and some way to give back. There are a number of Bahamians that live in the Miami area. There are a number of people in the South Florida area that come and visit here and will continue to come to visit the great islands of the Bahamas. And so we felt that even though we are not participating in the game, that we are among family members, we are among conference members, we are among partners, so that likewise, we also wanted to be a part of this great charity and this great contribution. So we too will be donating a check for $25,000.
Jeff, thank you very much. Before we hear from our last speaker, we want to just take a moment to recognize the National Stadium Authority of the Bahamas. Their new chairman, Burton Rogers, is with us this afternoon. Burton, thank you very much for attending. His general manager, Quentin Brennan, could not be here, but we do appreciate your efforts in helping us with our game each and every year. Actually, Quentin is here in attendance. We appreciate him as well. Our final speaker will be from the Bahamas Red Cross, who we've mentioned several times. It is the Director General of the Bahamas Red Cross, Caroline Turnquest. Caroline?
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone. It is certainly with gratitude that we will accept the checks from the three partners, and it's behalf of my president, my executive committee, our staff, our volunteers, but more importantly, on behalf of the beneficiaries. As you would have seen, and you would, recognize that we have a great task ahead of us. We have been on the ground from day one, but more importantly, as we move from response to the recovery stage, we recognize the mammoth task that we have ahead of us. And so your donation will certainly, while appreciated, will go toward a long way in helping us to help families rebuild. Because as you know, Dorian would have impacted the lives of so many in so many ways. And so once again, I thank you, I appreciate you, and we wish you all the best with your games.
At this time, we'll ask Caroline and the MAC at Conference USA and the Orange Bowl to come up front to present the checks. Thank you very much. And then to end it, we'll have the entire head table here in the front for a group photo. And we want to thank everybody for coming out today.